Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much. Welcome, Pastor Mrs. I can see the kids. Yeah, welcome, everybody. It's good to have you. Mr. Sam is already here in our midst. He will be taking us shortly. Okay, without wasting much time, I'm just going to let Mr. Sam have the floor. So we have the privilege of having Mr. Sam Shoyobo in our midst. He is a careers advisor. He works with Skils Development Scotland. This is his career. This is what he does. He's going to be taking us. Please, I just want everyone to, enjoy this session. You're welcome, Mr. Sam.
Thank you so much. My name is Sam Shoyombo, and I'm a careers advisor. This is my calling. This is my ministry. I'm just privileged that I'm being paid, and now I've moved into a Catholic school. So I'm working in a place where I can even talk about God as well. So it makes it even more interesting for me. But I am very passionate about supporting young people with children. I've always worked within a setting of education or developing young people. So I started as a librarian in public library in London. Then I moved to the system side of library. And this is where I got it wrong because that was where the money was. And I moved to that. And I had a very sad 15, 20 years of being a systems librarian. I worked in the University of Edinburgh for about 7 years. And I didn't enjoy that. So I went to Nigeria I think Nigeria would be the solution, but it wasn't. So when I came back to the United Kingdom for a second time, I knew what a bad career is in the United Kingdom. It was very clear to me. Nobody had to explain what it is to have a bad career in the UK. So I was particular about finding the right career where my job would be my calling. So I took about 2-3 years to get that right. And to the glory of God, I wake up every morning wanting to go to work. And I worked in Aberdeen before I came back to Edinburgh. Now work in Midlothian. When I was in Aberdeen, within 6 months, for the first time in my career, my manager said to me, "Sam, you are a blessing to Aberdeen." And that same manager, 4.5 years after, I was leaving Aberdeen, end of January this year. And she said to me, she needs therapy to overcome my leaving Aberdeen. So for me, that is an accomplishment of my career. It is an accomplishment. And where I am now in Midlothian, my team leader said, "Sam, you should have applied for team leader." I said, "No, this is what I'm called to do. I don't need all those ones. I'm called to work with young children." And in the Catholic school where I work, they now call me Mr. Motivator because the kids are always wanting to engage with me. So I'm just giving you a background to myself that this is something I do with passion. And that was why this year, when I was celebrating the 3rd anniversary of my 50th birthday. So when I was celebrating it, I decided to launch my own website. And I've called it samshoyombo.com. And everybody say it's about time, samshoyombo.com. So most of the resources you would get, I've packaged everything that you would need. I was saying to Brother Hero earlier on that I didn't want to say this website is for Nigeria. So my name makes the statements. So it's actually for Blacks to know about career in the United Kingdom with a lot of focus on Scotland as well. So what would you expect from me today? I want to assure you that I am going to finish. We have been given about 75 minutes, and I'll make sure that I don't exceed that 75 minutes. But what I've said is that because it's information packed, at the end of the session, I will give you a chance to ask me questions. So that will be outside of the 75 minutes. So if you need to go, you can leave and you can listen to the recording afterwards. But I will entertain as many questions as possible. So please keep putting all your questions down and I will answer all the questions at the end. So I'm going to be taking you through an overview of the role of a careers advisor in school. And then the twin I call those between the ages of 8 and 12 teen. So those that are 6, 7 could also get themselves involved in the things that twin will be doing. It's ageless. So it's something that the twin and the family could do together. So they will be looking at writing diary of success and animal me. And I will give the parents about 3 minutes to go and settle the twin to start doing those activities. Then I would then talk with the teen. I want parents to be there when I'm talking to the teen if you have anything that is present, so they are not escaping, so they can give us their audience, and there is few talk that will take another 10-15 minutes. And they have a worksheet where they can go and do some of the tasks that I will ask them to do. But they are not getting away from the house yet, because they're going to come back, and then we're all going to do another activity together. Then I would have the parents for a call of about 20 minutes, and we'll be looking at parents learning to treasure. We'll be looking at the generation alpha. We'll be looking at communication techniques, news review of some items, and then I'll be showing you some useful resources that you can use to support yourself. Once we finish this, then I'll ask you to get both the twin and the teens back into the same place with you. And then we'll be getting into a quiz. We'll be looking at jobs of present, jobs of future, and we'll be looking at skills that we need in the changing world that we're in now. And finally, I will come to an end by showing you how I can help as well. So I want to make it clear that any resources that I'm showing to you on my website, everything is free. There is no intention to collect money from my website. I do get paid by my organization, and I'm very happy with the money I earn from them. So I don't need any payment. It's just a free website for you to help yourself and to develop your children. Now, many of you would have heard about Careers Advisor. Coming from Nigerian background, I never saw a careers advisor in my life. And when I came to the United Kingdom, I didn't have the culture of even looking for one. And even when I went back to live in Nigeria and I returned to the United Kingdom and I made the effort to see one, it wasn't a nice experience for me. So I quickly learned not to trust careers advisor. However, I want to correct that notion for all of us in Scotland, especially those of us that have migrated into this part of the world. A careers advisor should be a friend of the family that you should go to for a lot of things that you probably would not have known. So they engage with children as early as the early years when they're in primary. By the time they're getting to P5, P7, we start doing a lot of work with them in groups and with their teacher. And then during their P7 to S1 transition to secondary school, we meet with them and we do a group activity with them. When they're in secondary school, between their S2 and S3, they make significant subject choices during that time, and they should see a careers advisor. Each child is meant to see a careers advisor to help them with their subject choices. As they're going through their senior phase, S4 to S6, most of the kids would be called by careers advisor, and they could request. So if your child is not invited by careers advisor, you should be asking them to go to the careers advisor and ask for an appointment. And I say they can tell the careers advisor that I'm going to be needing your help because my parents are not from here and they don't really understand the education system. So that way, the careers advisor will prioritize your kids and add them to the list of people that they should prioritize to see. That is a tip that I'm giving to you. Please note that. And then things like work placement, careers advisor will support we work with DYW, Developing Youth Workforce in Scotland. That's another organization. We work with them to arrange work placement for the young people. And when they leave school, there are loads of support that is available for a young person when they are leaving school, whether they are leaving at 16 or they are leaving at 18. If they are going into the main routes of apprenticeship, college, or university, that's fine. But for those that are having challenges, we do support them and help them at different levels to support them to get to where they are. I want to say Scottish education is one of the best education in the world because it is very individualistic. When they are in secondary school, no child has the same timetable as the other child. Their education is defined for them, their curriculum for excellence. So, what does a careers advisor do with a young person in school? And this is more in secondary school. But in primary school, they don't really have a careers advisor. They have people that go in to see them. So in secondary school, we support this as the young person. It's all about the young person developing their career. So that's why I have a big U there. So it's about you, the young person, making use of my world of work. That's my wow. The young people will have recognized that in the room. You can check with them if they know that. A careers advisor will help you to explore your options. And it is right for them to change over time. And it is right for you not to know. It is sometimes I always say not to know is better because then you are motivated to explore the best option for you. And we help you to develop your career management skills, which is a skill that you would need to get into a career that you will enjoy in the future. We don't want you to be enduring your career. We want you to be enjoying it. And we help you to plan the future that you want for yourself. Apart from career services, Skils Development Scotland will also support people with additional needs. If you're thinking of entrepreneurship, having your own business, we support. When is exam result time, maybe things hasn't gone according to plan, and that could be things might have gone very well or things must have gone the other way. They're there to support you. We have a national helpline that you can call during that time. Funding of any form, for whatever form that you need. For example, a lot of people are losing their job. There are lots of training fund that is available in Scotland. And when people leave school or you just need to do small courses, there are individual training accounts, training allowance that is available as well. So you can get that through going to Skils Development Scotland. Apprenticeship family, we have the foundation, we have the modern, and we have the graduate. I'll talk about them as part of the things that we do. And like I said, the school leavers, if your child wants seasonal job like Christmas or summer jobs, we do help them. Subject choices, I did talk about that, and I have a video that is in the link that I will show you later that you can listen to, and these are subject choices to guide them. My world of work is a very useful resource for both parents and the child. And I encourage young people to get into volunteering as early as they can get into it. So for me, when I come across a young person, these big 5 questions will be going through my head in the best way that I can help them. I want to help them to know how they like to learn. That is very important. Some of them like doing things, some of them like listening, some of them like writing, some of them like the autonomy of creating their own work. So I get them to understand that. Where would the subject that they enjoy take them to? I want to create that awareness for them. What subject do they enjoy? That's an indication of things that they can do, and I want them to start knowing that right early. And what subject are they good at? People can enjoy a subject. For example, a lot of young people enjoy PE, but they are not good at the theoretical part of the PE. So what subject are they good at? That is showing by the grades that they are getting. And what do other people think about them? For example, yourself, what talent are they displaying that you think that could be an indication of what the young person will do and thrive in? So, for you to support your young person, parents and carers listening to me, there are tools that are available for you to help your young person to discover what they're good at and help them explore their interests. These are the 4 tools, and they're all available on my world of work. The first one is about me, which help them to discover their interests. And then it will give them 3 words. I always say to them, put those 3 words and use that to describe yourself. So if somebody asks you, tell me about yourself, just use those 3 words. So you can tell your young people to do that and start using that to describe themselves. And that is readily available to any young person, regardless of whether they're in primary or in secondary school. Then you have the strengths. This is the tool that helps them to discover the strength that they are already using regularly and the one that they are not using so often. So you will break it down to them and let them know. So the one that they can develop. And the way my world of work is that once they've done all this quiz and they are registered, it starts personalizing information based on their strengths for them. And then the Skills Explorer, this is really new and it's so good. Actually, an adult could use it to understand skills. So if there is any adult under my voice today that you are struggling with how to describe jobs in your CV, the skills tools could help you to know how to better describe yourself. So that is the skills tools, and that is there to show them how they can develop and learn. The last one for the young ones is subject choice tools. So there is a tool whereby they can put up to 6 subjects in it, and that will tell them where those subjects could lead them to. So they start having an idea of where their subjects will take them to. When a young person has a good understanding of their strengths, their skills, and they know more about themselves, then we will start exploring where these choices could take them. And the popular one is either they go college, university, they go into job, some goes into job, or they go straight into apprenticeship. And there is also foundation apprenticeship that is available to them when they are in school. I will talk about that a bit later. So these are all the options that are normally available. There are other options that you could get help. So if your child did not get into any of this, if they are working actively with a careers advisor while they're in school, especially from S4 onwards, the careers advisor should have spotted and be guiding them. And I want to give a note that get to understand what your careers advisor is saying. Don't get defensive. You may want your child to do physics, chemistry, biology, but the child might be saying things that is an indication that they would have challenges in doing that. And when they pick subject that they are really going to struggle with, it will have an adverse effect on the subject that they are really good at, because they are spending more time on the one they are really struggling with at the expense of the time they can spend on the one they enjoy. So these are all the things that go into supporting them in making their choices. Now, these jobs of the future, we would have a quiz on this. So the young people, the twin and the teenagers, we're going to have a quiz on this so that you can know more about the jobs of the future. Now, these 5 sectors are sectors that are growing sector. So if you're working in any of this sector, you are more likely to get into job in the future. That is the digital technology, the energy and the environment. We all know about that. The construction industry, Scotland is still going through a lot of construction and there are lots of development going on around. The healthcare, childcare, and social care, that is a big area. When a child comes to me and they say they want to work in this area, I want to be a childcare person, fine. They can grow into becoming a pediatrician if they want to in the future. So let's understand that interest about them. And also life sciences, these are sciences that are relating to life. This is a big thing in Scotland as well. So those are all the jobs of the future that I want you to be aware of. So in summary, as a careers advisor, I help a young person to understand themselves so that they can develop self-awareness, self-worth, and respect for others. I create an awareness of their strengths, help them to reflect on their strengths and skills that will help them make informed choices when they are planning their next step. I also expose them to their horizons so that they can learn about where to find help and resources that will inform their choices. And I support them in building the right networks that will help them meet the challenges and manage changes and build relationships in the future. So between me and they, it's just about preparing them for the world of work. So it's just for them to become aware that everything they're doing now is all geared towards getting them into the world of work, the field where they will feel comfortable with. So everything that I've explained is all about helping a young person to develop their career management skills. And there are the 4 elements. I've tried to talk about them right from the beginning. It is about self. Who are they? Who am I? It's about your strengths. What am I good at? It's about what is available in the horizon. What is out there for me? And the network, who can help me? So you are never alone. You've got a careers advisor that will support you in developing your career management skills. And your network includes your parents that are here today, and include your teachers, your guidance, your subject teacher, your guidance teacher, and include people that are doing what you want to do as well, that your parents or the school can introduce you to. So I'm going to advise how to meet a careers advisor. I did say at the beginning, make sure that you encourage your child to see a careers advisor if they have not been invited. So keep checking with your child. Have you seen a careers advisor? If they haven't seen them, tell them that they should go to the careers advisor, introduce themselves, and tell them that their parents are not from here. They didn't do their education here, so they don't understand Scottish education system, and they won't be able to support me in getting to career. That is not undermining your parents. That is just making you a priority as well for the careers advisor, so that they can add you to a list of people that they will prioritize in seeing. Because sometimes your children may not fall in the radar of those that we need to prioritize. And we will only be basing it on the child coming to us sometimes. So that's this way to get around that. So when they're seeing a careers advisor, make sure they are focused. It is a time that they should be focused and be able to make decisions. They should be curious. They shouldn't hold back anything, because the more you say, the more it helps the careers advisor to know the right thing. So ask all the questions you need to be answered. And then be informed. Use all the tools. There is no point in you going to see a careers advisor and they are telling you, okay, I want you to go and do my world of work about me quiz. So when you've done that, come back next week. You have already used one of your allocated time. So make sure you've done that. Oh, actually, I've done that and I've done all of this, and then they can move to the next stage with you. So use all the tools, information, and networks that you have. And be confident. Feel ready to make good decisions and feel excited about your future. When you get it right, the future is always exciting. So everything that I've said in this part of this session is summarized into an action plan. Register on my world of work. Complete About Me quiz. Try the strength tools. Try the skills tools, and use the subject choice tool. All of these tools can be used by an adult and can be used by a child. So it's not, but they are designed, the language are more child friendly. So you can use all of those things on my world of work. Now I want the twins, that is the younger ones below age 13, those that are below age 13, get ready. I'm just going to be talking you through the activity that you're going to do today, and you can leave the same room where your parents are. Your parents will be given time to settle you in. And what I want you to do will help you today to know what it sounds like, how to make, how you take information. You will learn about how you organize yourself and how you make decisions. You are going to be doing a quiz, and I'll show you where to do it. And at the end of the quiz, your result will either start with an E or you have an I, and it will give you a type of animal. The E are those that are extroverted, and the I are those that are introverted. And it makes you unique to yourself. And you will be told that you are like one of these animals, and then you will get a description of the qualities of this animal that are similar to the qualities that you have. It's always an exciting time, and I will encourage your parents to support you later to read the results that you will do. So I'm just going to show you how to get into this. Parents, please take note, because you will need to settle them. I'll give you some time to settle your twin to get into this so that they are occupied while we're going through the next part of the session. So I'm just going to, you log into my website, samshoyombo.com. So that is the website, samshoyombo is one word.com. And when you get there, you select the Triple T menu on the website. And I'm just going to go into the website now. So I'm already on the Triple T here. Just move the thing here. So when you are in the Triple T, you go to the twin task. So on the twin task, you just move down a bit, and then you see the activities there. So these are things that I did during Triple T. And you have my diary of success there. You also have sentence starter. All these things are things that you're going to do. You may be able to finish them before you come back or not. And then this video will tell you what you're supposed to be doing. So you play the video so you know what you're supposed to be doing. And then you would also play the one for May is the animal me. I want you to do that. Play this video. It will tell you what you're supposed to do. And then you will be able to print. You will be able to print your animal me mask. Also, you'll be able to do an assignment with holiday planning and then spot the difference. So these are the two tasks that you're going to be doing. And I would encourage parents that if you can't attend our Triple T seminars every second Saturday, you can always come here and get your kids to do some of the activities that we're doing. You can see that we only have the April and May because that's what we've done so far. So they can do that. So I want parents to settle the twin, that is children below age 13, to be doing this. And I'm going to give you 5 minutes to settle that. Hello, everyone. Thank you for staying with me. And welcome back to this session. This session is, I'm going to spend another 10 minutes for topics that I want the team to be aware of. And then they would also be given a task that they can go and do. And then when we finish, they would then join us. I hope all parents are back in the room because I need you to be aware of this session that I'm going to be sharing with your teams. Okay, thank you. Now, we all know that the world is changing so much, and the skills that is required in the future are different from the skills that we've ever had. So the human role has become much more important. So it's quite important that we're working with our young people to develop the skills that they will need to be able to thrive in the future that they're going into. So It's about managing the now. That is about self-management, how they focus, how they maintain their integrity, how they adapt, and how they make use of their initiative. So that's how they manage now, is self-management. It's also important that they're able to connect with the world, not just virtually, but physically. It's all about their social intelligence, how they communicate, how they express their feeling and acknowledge feelings of other people, how they collaborate with people, and how they can lead in the different situations that they are put in. And then we have the create our own change. The create our own change is about the innovation, their curiosity, their creativity, their sense making, and their critical thinking. So that is what they need. This is important in the future they are going to. And I'm going to be talking about resources that would help them to achieve, to start building the self-management, social intelligence, and innovation. These three skills are called meta skills. So for those of you that speak my language, Yoruba, you will know meta means three. So it's the three core skills, meta skills, and that is the skills of the future, and they need to be developing this. So I'm going to show you all the resources that are available through school for them to build on this. The first thing I'm showing you is courses that your children could do in school while in college while they're still in school. It is important that parents support your young people to explore all the courses that they could do in college while they're still in school that would expose them, would give them an in-depth idea of what they want to do, and will give them the opportunity to be self-managing themselves in school, plus managing the fact that they have to go to college while they are in school. So there are courses that is S4 to S6, and when they are making their choices, they would have this on the list. And a lot of us do miss that. Careers advisor may point them to read, but it's more important with your influence to point them to this. When you go to the college website, this is Edinburgh College. For those in West Lothian, there is the West Lothian College. And for those that are in the borders, there is the Borders College as well that you can get into. And there are other colleges, New Battle College for those in Mid Lothian. You have New Battle College aside of the Edinburgh College that is in Mid Lothian as well. Now, when you go to, but I'm using the Edinburgh College as an example, you will filter. I would ask you to do the filter of the SCQF level first. The SCQF level is a level where your child is, and you will know that by if they're doing National 4 or they're doing National 5. When they are in S4, the highest they will be doing will be National 5. But when they are in S5, they probably will be doing IS. So the National 5, if your child is doing a National 5, whatever level they are, tick the level before and the level they are doing and the level after. So if someone is doing a National 5 at S4, you want to tick the level 4, the level 5, and the level 6. And if your child is already doing higher, you want to tick 5, 6, and 7. You could tick 8 as well, because if they're already doing higher, they may have access to level 8 courses. I would explain this qualification a little bit later. So filter them to this, and then work with your child to look at all the different career interests that is here and tick all of them so that you filter this to the one that would interest them. Now, look at the course content with them, look at where it would take them to, how they can progress from the course, and the different jobs that you can take them to. Okay. So we have this apprenticeship. This is the apprenticeship that your child could do. They could do modern apprenticeship or they could do graduate apprenticeship. So the modern apprenticeship they will do after they leave school and they will learn on the job. They get paid for that. The graduate, they do it through an employer, but they're working, they're doing it in a university, but they already have a job. I encourage us to understand this very well because a lot of people are going through this route and they are already on the job. And that's why we have a lot of ethnic minority children with qualification, but the jobs are not there because they haven't got the experience. So I recommend that young people should go through apprenticeship route to start building their network if they find the type of apprenticeship they're interested in. Now, if they're in school, they can do the foundation apprenticeship. This is equal to 1 higher qualification, and it is recognized very well by employers and by university and colleges as well. And they can use this when they are going to university. People doing foundation apprenticeship will have a lot of experience to write in their personal statement to apply to university, and this will help them to stand out. So this is where you can search to see the vacancies that are available. And I always say, don't put postcode yet, just put the keyword and to see what is available, and then you can then filter by postcode later. Because if you're going to go to university, you might have to live away from home. So if you're going to do an apprenticeship, which is also a learning thing, then you want to look at the opportunities that is available throughout Scotland. And if you need to stay away from home, that means that you're moving away from home, just like you will have done if you're going to university. So it's not just a job, it's a job that you will get qualification through. These are subjects that are available for foundation apprenticeships. These are all the subjects. You have those at level 4 and level 5. So for your child that is already working at level 4 or that 5, they can do this one. But for you to be able to do the level 6, your child must be working at National 5 level. So you need to go into each one of them and see the requirement. And when you filter, when I was showing you the Edinburgh College, it would include the apprenticeship that here at this stage, it will include it for you. So you'll be able to see that's there. So that is the foundation apprenticeship. Now, this is the qualification. I want you to understand that every qualification has an equivalent, whether it's academic or vocational qualification, they're all equal to one another. So the first year of a university qualification is normally at a level 7. So if your child is doing HNC in a college, they can go to the year 2 of a similar course. And in most cases, most universities will have what is called articulation with the college. That articulation means that what they are doing at the HNC level will make it easier for this person when they come to the year 2 of the course. So what has always happened is that sometimes I've seen some of our people that they don't understand this and they keep their children in school when they could have left at S5 to go into this because they are probably going to be struggling academically to achieve the university requirement. By the time they are deciding to do this, all the courses are gone in the college. So the earlier you start doing it and be proactive, you can apply subject to the result that your child would achieve. And if the result is not favorable for university, they can go into this because they will have already got a place anyway. They can go. So you can apply, get the place, but you don't have to go. So that is the different levels. And if they are going through modern apprenticeship routes, it goes all the way to professional apprenticeship, which equates to a doctorate degree. So whichever route, and there is an international equivalent of this. So regardless of where you go in the world, if you have the qualification, it can equate to a qualification wherever you go in the world. So the thing I said I was just going to use about 15 minutes with you. I think I've tried to keep to that. Now, you can go to my website, and when you go to my website, you go to the worksheet and go to the triple T. If you go to the worksheet on my website and go to the triple T, the worksheets menu, you will find the links to all these exercises that you can go into. If you have not registered on my World of Work, I want you to register yourself on my World of Work. And if you've registered and you've lost your password, go in and try and get your password back. Use the skills experience to start recording experiences that you are learning through church activities that you are involved in, volunteering activities that you are involved in, other things that you're doing through your extracurricular. Start recording those things in your skills experience. Learn how there are instructions on how to use the skills experience when you follow the links that I've given to you. There is a link on my website that you can use to get into that. And then this is about your right at work. Just to let you know that in Scotland, mostly young people can start work at the age of 14. There are some local authorities that will allow them to start as early as 13. Even if it's just Saturdays or Sunday afternoon that they're doing something just to start building their skills, I'll encourage that. You can read through this. All these links are available for you on my website to pick them. And then there is the young person guarantee for those that are of school leaving age. There are lots of things that they can get through this. This is for Edinburgh people. And then for those that are the Edinburgh one is the Edinburgh guarantee. And then the young person's guarantee is information about the services that are available for young people. So I want you to spend time to familiarize yourself with this, and I'll be calling you back in about 15 minutes, in about 10-15 minutes, to join us again for the Jobs of the Future quiz. So we're all going to be doing that together. I'm assuming the teenager have left the room now, and then I've only got parents with me. So the twins are busy with their activity. Everywhere that activity has been done, they've always had fun, and it's a fun time for family. I will encourage you parents to do the quiz as well, so that it's a base for discussion with your children. Okay? So now we are parents alone, and I'm just going to, this session is information packed. And don't worry about the information, because I've got a document that you can print at the end of the session, and I will show you where to find that. So I'm just going to show you where you will get the blog that I wrote this morning. So on my website, this is the triple T. When you pick the triple T, it brings you straight here. And this is what I wrote this morning. So I will encourage you parents, Christian parenting, nurturing your child gifts and talents. And Brother Tayo actually nailed that on the head for me. It's like he has read this. So it's about nurturing their talent. It's not fashioning them in the way you want them to go, but in the way that God has ordained them to go. So I've got a lot of information on how to do this. So you can go, and you can also read some of the blog. I have quite a few blogs that I've written that will help you with supporting your kids. So developing listening skills, how could you make up for lost times? So these are different blogs that I've written that you can pick up from that website. So I'll just go back to the presentation. So on my blogs as well, there are blogs on setting boundaries. I've got that. So that's about communication techniques, active listening, safe and healthy issue. That discussion is very important. If there is any blog that you must read, this you must read. Achieving and nurturing. There are lots of information for you on how to support your child to be achieving through the way you nurture them. So I've written blogs on that as well for you. And I normally, every time I have a Triple T event, I will review a news issue. So the one for May, I was reviewing the issue of, no, the one for April, I was reviewing the issue of how children can make up for lost time during the pandemic. So you can get information about that. And then for the June one, for the May one, I was looking at, should private tutor be vetted? So I encourage you to check all those blogs on the Triple T page on my website. So now you are now going to watch a video on Generation Alpha. The Generation Alpha is the children that were born between 2010 and 2024. So, I mean, those that will be born, so that is what they are. Now, on my website as well, in the worksheet, you have something that shows the different generations. So the generation defined. So you can see all the generation, including where you fall into. I will encourage you to read about your own generation to see how you are different from your children and to understand the importance of those differences in the way you are bringing your children up. So I'm just going to play this for you now. That's an introduction to the Generation Alpha for you. And I deliberately put that video on for us to see that the world view for our children are different from our own world view. And having an understanding of that world view could help us to build a more effective relationship with these young people. So because of that, I have packed some list of information sources that you as parents could go to be able to support your young people. You don't need to write anything down. So these are useful education and career resources that I have put together for you. And I will show you where you will find the link later. So there is something about the Scottish overview of the Scottish education system so that you get to know that. There is a website called mykidscareer.com. So that's a website meant for parents to learn more about supporting their child's career. I can't overemphasize the importance of my world of work. And I want you to check the accounts benefit, why it benefits your child to be registered on my world of work so that you can support them in doing that. There is the parent section on my world of work as well. And then there is a section where he explains different qualifications to you. Adults might also find it very useful. The framework that I showed to you earlier, the link to the interactive version is also here. And also, I have put the link to Edinburgh College, the school courses. If you take the school out of the link, there is another one for the courses which are full-time or part-time courses that you can do in school. There's a link to Apprenticeship.Scots where you can know more about apprenticeships. And there's a link to volunteering which explains the benefits of volunteering. And I want to encourage lots of parents to start supporting their young ones to get into volunteering, because this is where they can build network that is outside of your own network that will help them to get into their career. And the good thing is that when people spot talent in this part of the world, they are always there to celebrate the talent and support the young person to maximize their potential. The Young Person's Guarantee tells you about all the support that is available for a young person getting ready to leave school, and also the guide for employment guide for children that are going to work. So if your child is working ages 13 or 14 above, then these are guides to help you to understand that they can get into work. So I'm going to show you how you will find this link. So if you click on worksheets at the menu, if you click on worksheet, so you will come exactly here, and we have all the different worksheets there, but the one that you want to go into is the Triple T. So if you go inside Triple T worksheet, You will find all the resources that are there, and your resources, Edinburgh Tabernacle Teenager Activities, that's the one that asks the teenage to go into, and then the parents' activities. So every link that I've shown you today, including the videos, they're all there listed there for you to see. And then I have the PDF of this presentation. So if you need to go through that, the PDF is here for you to go through and see. The video will be available on my YouTube channel. It's just Sam Shoyombo. You can get to the YouTube channel from our website, and that is just clicking. I think that's the one that you click on, and that will take you to our YouTube channel. So you can look at the video if you want to see, if you want to make reference back to the video. Please bring all the children back into the room. Ask them to come back into the room. So welcome back, everyone. I hope the young ones have had fun doing their Animal Me quiz. If you've not been able to finish the task, you can always continue the task with the children. And if you have any question, you can ask us through the website, and I would be happy to answer your question. And I also want to say to you that if there is anything specific that the church would want me to do, you can always organize through Sister Amara, to contact me, and I will be happy to focus on a particular topic. Here, I've just brought in as many as I think you need to have, and then build on them. So now we're getting into future jobs and future skills. So I'm just going to show you this 2 minutes video. So this is just a thing that talks about the fact that the future jobs are changing, and the skills that are required for those future jobs are changing as well. But the interesting bit about the change is that human will now have to be more of human. So it's important that you recognize your strengths, because in the world that we're going into now, if you don't have the right skill that makes you human, you will struggle to thrive in that world. So learning to be yourself is very critical in the future. So now I have this quiz, and I want to, I normally focus on a career for each time I have my Triple T session. So in the month of May, we were actually looking at food and drink. And the food and drink is the UK largest manufacturing sector. They contribute over 228 billion to the economy annually. And they employ over 400,000 people in UK wide. So it's a very big sector that you could work in. Now, my question, and I want you to write your answer down, so when I'm giving the answers, you will know if you got it right or not. What does a farm worker do? That is the question. And the possible answer is 1, care for livestock. 2, farming crops. 3, farming fish. Marketing farm products. Procurement and logistics of farm products. All of the above. So just write what you think is the right answer down, and I'm now going to go through all the answers and explain what they are, and then we'll conclude on the real answer. So a farmer worker, I will start from the beginning. They care for livestock. These are animals on ground. These are animals on ground. They also care for crops. These are plants. They also care for sea animals, including fish and other sea animals. So a farm worker could be doing any of these 3. Also, you could be a farm worker, but you're not doing the farming, but what you're doing is marketing the farm products. So that could be what you do there. Or you might not be in the farm, but you are helping to procure things that the farmers will need, and the logistic of getting things from the farm to the manufacturer, or getting things to the farmers as well. So there are people that are doing those type of jobs. So the correct answer will be all of the above. So a farm worker could be doing any of this job. So the food and drink industry covers everything relating to working outdoors, farming crops and livestock, sea catching or farming fish, food production, new product development, food scientists, food technologists, or food engineer, or even engineers that are making machineries that we use. It also involves marketing of products, procurement, transport, and logistics. So there are a lot of jobs available in these sectors. These are some of the jobs, and I have a link for you to look at those jobs and click on each of them to understand what they do. So these are things that you could do with children at home. And these are jobs that are evolving in that sector, the food and drink sector. These are jobs that are evolving, including quality assurance officer, brand identity developer, digital marketing specialist, data analyst, and social video designers. Within the food and drink sector, these jobs are really evolving, and there are new jobs that are still coming in that sector. Now, let's shift the focus to another sector, the healthcare sector. If you're interested in working with people and you get satisfaction knowing that you are helping people who need it, and you have passion for improving lives, then you are likely going to enjoy working in the healthcare sector. Now, the quiz for the healthcare sector is, which job is in the healthcare sector? So which of this job? A data analyst, a robotic engineer, an accountant, chefs, or a software designer? Or do you think they are all of the above? So please write down your own answer and then compare it to what I'm going to be explaining. So within the healthcare sector, we have data analysts that are analyzing patients' record, they are analyzing drugs record, they are analyzing experiments that they are carrying out. We have robotic engineers that are building robots that we use in hospitals now in the healthcare sector. In the healthcare sector, they have accountants managing money, paying staff, buying things, budgets. So they need an accountant. They need a chef that is cooking for patients and staff in the hospital and within the healthcare sectors, and those that are working to understand how nutrition can help with healing people. Software designers, there are lots of software applications that they use within the healthcare sector, and they need designers for that. So all of these jobs are also available in the healthcare sector. So the healthcare sector includes curative, those that are helping us when we're sick; preventive, those that are supporting to do things that will prevent us from getting sick; rehabilitative, when we get healed. Sometimes people lose the use of some part of their body and they need help to be able to use or do things the way they used to do them, or adapt the way they do things. And then palliative, sometimes people come to the end of their life, and when that is recognized, they put them through palliative care to make coming out of this life a bearable experience for them. So it's all about caring for people within the healthcare sector. And these are numerous jobs that are available in the healthcare sector at this time. So you would have the link to that so you can see them, including pharmacy technician, dispensing optician, podiatrists, anatomy pathology. So there are quite a few jobs that are available there. And in the future, these are jobs that we're getting in the healthcare sector: robotics engineer, virtual reality designer, user experience designer, Internet of Things software engineer, and data analyst. So these are jobs that are coming now within the healthcare sector. So you could end up working in that sector. So I'm now coming towards the end of this presentation. Parents are encouraged to tap into my Triple T activity, and you can book. I would acknowledge you and honor a session with you and your twin, on a one-to-one with you and your twin, if you can show me evidence that you're doing activities within the Triple T. And you can do that by logging the activity. So you don't even have to attend on the second Saturday, but go to my YouTube channel, do the activities, and then log what you've done with your twin. And that would guarantee that if you want to have a twin coaching session with me, you and your twin, then you can book it on my website. Where you will do all of this thing is available for you on the link that I've shown you earlier. I also have the focus resources where you parents and even the teenage can find yourself to understand more about yourself, the opportunities that you're pursuing, communication, using information. There are more information that are linked to your opportunities as well that you can use. And starting, this is about getting in, growing on the job, and also getting grounded on the job. So you can use some of the resources that is available on that website. So I want you parents to be aware that if you imagine the progress in a child's education and a child's school and life successes, if you parents embrace your role as your child's first teacher, what a difference you're going to make as a role model. And for the children, the Bible says, children, obey your parents in the Lord. So because the Lord has given you these parents, for this is right, honor your father and mother. Take note of this. This is the first commandment with a promise. And the promise is that things may go well with you and that you may live long in the land. So going back to parents, it's important that parents are fulfilling the role to help these children nurture their gifts and talents. The next time I will be having my Triple T forum will be the 12th of June. So you can join us live, where we'll be looking at another twin task. We'll be having talent discovery charts, and then parents will be learning to treasure their young person. You can read about our blog. If you go to samshoyombo.com, this is blogs that are written for adults, and you can read some of those blogs. And I'm just going to show you this. I hope that the volume will work on this occasion.
You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your ability. You're capable of anything. You can achieve any dream. Please don't limit yourself. Don't live your life limited. Without sadness and misery. Life's a challenge, but you will succeed. Take control of how you feel. In every step you come step. Work on yourself.
That's just an overview of what you can see on my website. And hopefully you will join us next time. So I've come to the end of my presentation for you. It's time for me to answer all the questions.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Sam. Thank you so much. I think we have just a couple of questions. It's been directed to, I think they put it on the live chat. I'm sure your assistant has on her phone, if he can. Better still, I think Johnson can probably read out the questions.
Yeah, Johnson, can you read out the questions, please?
Okay, the first question says, the activity of the twins is not clear. There's a reference to some slides. Where do we get the slides?
Okay, apologies for that. I think you need to go into my website, samshoyombo.com. So I will just try and put that on for you. samshoyombo.com. So that's the website. And then you go to the Triple T. And when you go to the Triple T, you go into the train starts, because there are 3 activities that happen in Triple T. The main page is the blog page for children, for parents. And then you go into the twin task. And if you come down here, you will see the task of April. And these are the worksheets and presentation that they need to be doing. And also the task for May, that is the Animal Me, the holiday planning, spot the difference, and the Animal Me quiz. So that's where they get all those things for. They just click on that, and then they'll be able to download it, and they can look at the video as well. That the video will tell them, will present what they are doing to them. Okay, next question, please.
Can we have your details?
Yes, you have my details through my website. So if you if you need to contact me as a parent, so let me go onto the website here again, book appointment. So let me go into the book appointment and explain things clearly. Now, for the teenagers, if they need to contact me, I don't encourage teenagers to contact me unless they've done some activity. And I encourage them to use more of their careers advisor in their school. Now, I understand that sometimes they want a flavor of someone like me, probably because I will understand them better. So if they need to have completed my focus. When they go into focus, they need to have completed the Find Yourself and the Dream and the Opportunity activities. And they can book a 15-minute session with me here through the Dream Coaching. So the Dream Coaching is on the list that on the worksheet that I'm giving to the teenagers, so they can book that. Now, for adults, it's the same principle. If adults need support, they can also go into, they need to have completed, when you go into the focus page, the resources page, I go to the resources, and you have you need to have done things on Find Yourself and Opportunity. Once you have done things on Find Yourself and Opportunity, then you go into the contact and book an appointment. And the Dream Coaching is the first one that you can book, and it's free. So you book a time with me, and you need to fill the pre-Dream Coaching. That is just checking on the things that you've done. Otherwise, people are just coming to me without doing their own little background work that will help them to make the session more productive and effective for them. So that's how you can contact me. Once I've been working with people and they've gone through all the process with me, they can contact me as a protege. And that's a 30-minute session. But I expect them to have gone through the process of developing themselves before I spend 30 minutes with them, because more of the help is available there for them. Now, for parents and twin, I have a 30-minute session for them. If your child is done the Triple T with me, any of the session, if they completed either the April or the May one, you can contact me through this and book a session, and I'll be happy. I prefer to meet the twin and the parents, even though I would have the parent to put a plaster in their mouth when they come. So they're not going to talk. They're just going to hear the conversation between me and the twin, so that they know the kind of conversation we're having. It's a twin time, but I always want the parents to be there with them. And you can book this 30-minute session with me. And I encourage that to be once a year, so that the time is spread across for people, and make sure that you've done the task. So you are actually coming for questions about things that you don't really know. I hope I've explained how to contact me like that to you.
How do you guide your children between settling for just any career and you helping them based on their potential? Some children will say, I just want to do this, but as parents, you can see they have capacity to be and do more. I know we are not meant to decide for them.
Okay. Thank you. That's a very strong, good question. And I am very grateful to the person that asked that question. That is a thing where parents have conflicts with careers advisor. Now, you can see the potential of a child and you think they can do much more. But if the child is telling you that this is their interest, you need to be led by what that child is saying. There is no point in us rushing them. And I'm going to tell you one classic story of a young child is now in his 20s. He wanted to go into apprenticeship, and he was in London. He wanted to go to apprenticeship, and the parents wanted him to go and do, I can't remember the course he went to do in the university. And he was guided in that route rather than the apprenticeship. And the young guy, the first year, he couldn't cope. The second year, it was pre-mental health problem. It was nearly getting into mental health, and he withdrew from the university without any qualification for 2 years. Now, he's actually now outside of university, and is now doing something through Open University, and is working, and exactly what he wanted to do, because he could have gone into apprenticeship. So what I would say is that if your child is telling you what they want, focus on understanding how they can get to that thing that they want, because the skills are so transferable now. And like we hear from the Screen Agers generation video, that they will do so many jobs. So if it's not working for them, they will find themselves out and they will get into something else. But what is most important that will help personal development is that they're doing what they enjoy at a particular time. I was telling Sister Amara that while I was working in IT, I was making so much money, but that was the worst time of my life. But I'm making less now, but this is the most productive, this is the happiest time I've ever had. And it's important that they're doing what they want to do. Yes, you can show them that why they could do this, why this will be beneficial to them, but let that decision be their own at any time. And show to them that you are listening, and don't be upset if they get it wrong. We saw it in the video that they will get it wrong, but they would know how to retrace themselves and get it right. And if I say to us parents, my wife went to do nothing at the age of 40. At the age of 40. So they can get it right at any time. And they're in a world where information is readily available to them and they can get all the support. Now, if you are telling them to do what you feel is right for them, at that point in time, they may rebel what you're telling them and just do it because they want to be in your good books, but not with their heart. They're just doing it with their head. And that might change. That might mean that they won't be as productive. And remember that the human skill is more important in the world that they're going into. So their own interest is vital. I hope I'm able to answer that question.
All right. How do you balance the desire of a child who wants to pursue their talent or skill as a career as against going to school to study? For example, wanting to be a sports person, that is a footballer.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's a very good question. My nephew had that challenge last year. He wants to be in London, and it's just getting to what we would call S. It's just finishing S6. I still don't understand their years in England, but it's just getting to what we would call S6. And he wanted to leave. The parents wanted him to go to university, but he wanted to be a footballer. So I sat with him and I said, I tried to understand the reason around what is his motivation about the football. And if he has the motivation about the football, it's quite important we support him to explore that. But I made him realize that there must be a backup. So we needed to look for a backup should in case it's similar to children that want to go into the army, children that want to go into, there are some things that it's a chance thing that you get into it. I can't think about them off and at the moment, but anything that is off chance, the way you get to them is, yes, support them to find a way into that, and then have a backup that is still linked to that interest. So my nephew in Scotland, we have courses in colleges and university like sports coaching and things like that, that will mean that they can still be doing their sports, their interests. They can still be playing for any club they want to play with while they are developing that side. They're developing the courses that they potentially could fall back to and still be linked to their interests. So that is very possible. And when I was showing you the Edinburgh College courses, this is where you could have gone into the college and look at courses that would align with that interest and encourage them to do that course while they're still in school, so that they're already building a solid backup. Because if it aligns to their interest, they're going to thrive in it. They're going to be happy. So you have not taken football away. You have not stopped them from going to the army. But what you have done is you have helped them to be developing that interest. And they can completely take a roundabout turn. And the child that wants to be a footballer might then say that, I just want to be a librarian, that kind of a thing, So they can just come up because something has interested them to go that route. And the time will always be there for them to change. But the most important thing is they are following their own passion. And we're supporting them to make the best of that interest.
What if your child is very talented and good at playing football when the training sessions are on Sundays, when he's meant to be in church?
Okay. Now, I'm the person that has that question. I'm going to ask, is the pastor here? I'm the principal for the children's church, Sister Amara. Can I answer that question as a careers advisor, or can I answer that question as a Christian?
Both. Just give
Both.
us
Answer from both perspectives.
Diplomacy, Christian diplomacy. Now, I would say the question, Sister Amara, I want your mic on so that you answer me. Now, it's you that I want to face now. I'm not going to put the person on the spot. Whoever has that question, I won't put you on the spot, but I'll put Sister Amara on the spot. Sister Amara, would that child coming to church on Sunday, would he hear the sermon in church on Sunday?
no. He wouldn't hear the sermon if he doesn't.
So how many loss is that child making for that period? Is it one loss or two loss?
For not coming to church is one.
No, for coming to church because you want him to be there. Is it making one loss or two losses?
Two losses. He's losing for not being in football, and if he's not paying attention in church as well, so he's lost both.
Would that child really thrive as a Christian, grow as a Christian, or rebel as a Christian?
I think he will definitely be doing what his parents ask him. He might not really fulfill his purpose and may hate most of the things going on in church.
Okay.
Basically.
Now, what could you do as a parent to still let the child be able to get involved in church, even though it's obvious that the time for the football is at church time? What could you as a parent do to help that child to, they're going to attend that, you cannot change that, it's on a Sunday, the time you go to church. What could you as a parent do to help that child?
I think basically at the moment, we're having that challenge as well. My son is playing football in church. So we have spoken to the coach. It's just all about you having a good communication with people you're working with. So in terms of Sunday service, if it doesn't work with your time coming to church, you can speak with the coach. They have weekend footballs, which is Saturday. So you look for the appropriate time that is quite suitable for them. Because what happens as a Christian, if your child is playing football, you have to take them. So both you and your child is missing out. So that's where we have issues. You can ask your child to just go to football while you come to church. Okay, so we just have to balance both. So you don't miss out, your child don't miss out. And you see these days, we have the option of just going to church once a day, probably. And the child not attending church as well at all during the week is quite an issue. They might thrive in football, but they're not learning the things of God. So it's just having that balance. You can manage it if the time is 11:30 or is 11, know when the church is starting. The child can come all the way from football immediately they finish church. If it doesn't work at all, see if you can get resources from the children's department that can help the child. I'm just, I don't know if that answers a bit of the question somehow. But yeah, just working around it and make sure they are benefiting and you as well benefit.
Thank you, Sister Amara. Now I'm going to give you my own perspective to that.
Okay.
the football is that child's calling. Church doesn't have to be on a Sunday. So now the issue is that you have to miss church as well because the child has to go there. But you can delegate that adult responsibility to another adult, probably a friend's parent. By the time you go the first, second, third time, and you build networks, or it can be that if you're two parenting, or the child has a senior sibling that could go with them. It could be things. These are part of things that we sacrifice as family. Remember, this time that you have to do that will fade away very soon. Now, what you can do as a parent is, these days, things get recorded that you do in church. Now, you and your child can have a time that you go through that church message together and you discuss it. It's a bonding time. So you are actually giving the child the best of both worlds so that they are a happy child already. And then you are now giving them things that will help them to nurture that root of happiness that is already laid in them, rather than a child that is just doing it to conform with the parents and what they are doing. So that is what I would say, that if it's something to do with their interests, I would prioritize that for that child and see in the world that we have, how can I use technology to still get them to get the information they're missing in church? And also, are there other churches that is a live church that you have vetted, that they have a good youth ministry that your child could go to instead? But you need to vet that to know that they're still going to be getting the message, because the word of God is the same. When you go get the right church, they can go there at a time that may be suitable to them. Would the weekday service be more appropriate for the child to attend and learn more, and you spend an hour with them to go through the recording of Sunday and you give your own perspective of it? It's a strong bonding time, probably better than they having to be in the church on that day. That's my own personal and from Christian perspective as well, that when it comes to interest, if you take a child away from their interest, you are not getting them to do what you want them to do, and they're still losing their interest, and you're already losing the trust that the child would have for you. So it's important that you work around it. It's a challenge, and the interest supersede what you want. Next question, please.
Okay, and the last question is, what is the difference between national and higher exam?
Okay, thank you. I know that I'm with an audience from Africa, so let me put it in an easy way, and then I will then explain. The national is like you're doing O levels, and the IAS is like you're doing A levels. So now let me explain it in proper English. Nationals is what you do, is what you do when you are in the broad general education. The first 3 years of secondary education is called broad general education, and the subject that they do are assessed on national level, and they are awarded. And when you're doing national, you don't do exams, you only do assessments. But when you get to highest, you have to do exams. And then the national 5 as well, some of them have exams, elements of it as well, the national 5. So the national 5 is like your O-level exam. That's the stage that you're doing that. And then the highest is like you're doing A-levels. Now, people say that back in Africa, people repeat classes, but here they just promote them. Yeah, somebody could be in S5 and they're still doing S3 maths. They're doing national 3 maths, but they are already in S5. So they assess them on their achievements. So it doesn't matter that they are all, but they all have to be within their age range. For those of us that went to school very early, I finished my secondary school at the age of 15, and I was the youngest in my set. So how will I ever be a senior boy in that school? I can never be a senior boy because I was just a child when I have people that are already 19, 20 in the same class with me. So this system allows the child to be with their peer and to excel among their peer. So the head boy of that year will be in that age range as well. So all their development is equal. So each one can stand out. And people like us didn't struggle with self-esteem for a while because sit down, you're too young. What do you know? Sit down. That's what my classmates are passing the exam better than they do, but because they already have beers and things like that, that's what they tell me. So I want you to celebrate the system, but each of them are on their own level. So when a child is sitting with me, for me to assess their academic attainment, I will be asking them, please tell me the subject that you're taking. And then they will say, oh, I'm doing biology. Then I'll ask, what level? Then they will tell me, oh, I'm at National 4. So that means that they are not ready to do the National 5. You understand? So I already know that. So they tell me, and then they say, oh, I'm doing PE. I'm doing IAS in my PE because they're in S5. They're doing IAS in PE, but they're doing National 4 in biology. Potentially, they could grow and do National 5 in biology and still go and do something with PE. So that's the difference. Now, I will also talk about advanced higher. Advanced higher is like what you would do in the first year of university. You are already a step into the university. So sometimes when people stay and if they've achieved higher and they go into advanced higher, it will help them, but it doesn't give them anything extra to get to the course, because if they had a higher, it will be accepted, and if they have advanced higher. But somebody that stays to do advanced higher, when they get to university, they will probably excel more in that subject and have more fun in their first year of university. So some of them prefer to do that because they feel that they are ready to do what they want to do. Linked to that question as well, I want to say that I have people that think if my child does not get into the course they want, they just want to put them on the course that is available. Don't do that with a child. If it means they have to have a gap year, let them use that gap year as a skills development in the area that they are interested in. The fact that they're going to miss a year from going to uni does not mean that they're losing a year of their life, because when they get into what they will excel in, I didn't know this until I did careers advice. When I did the course, I constantly always want to learn. But this is me that will say, I don't like reading. But when you find the right thing that you're doing, you will excel in them. So when it comes to university stage, please, if they are interested in pharmacy, keep them. If they don't get into pharmacy, find out the reason and let them do what. It might just be because they haven't got life experiences to show that they are interested in being a pharmacist. That's why they have not offered them. So let them have the 1 year to do all the things that will give them that. Is there any question, Josie?
No, that's all. That's all.
Thank you very much. If you have any question about, you can use my blog to, when you read the blog and you want us to get into discussion, you can just comment on the blog. The problem is that people are not yet commenting. I just opened the website March 22nd. When we start commenting on the blog, people will start getting discussion and we'll be informing and learning together. So you can put a question, or you can put a direct question to me to contact us on the website, and I will answer your question as well.
Thank you. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Mr. Sam. God bless you for all you've just taught us today.